Hey guys, Bulldog with Bulldog Essential Fitness back here again. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a couple minutes and I'm going to show you TRX or suspension training. So as you can see, I'm out here at my house. I've got a hook hooked up to my tree, and I'm going to go through some exercises, kind of explain how they work, what you do, and things like that. So that way you know that you always have more options than just actually going to the gym. All right, so first thing I want you to do is grab here, and then you go ahead and lean back. All right, so now the angle of the lean is going to give you the resistance that you need, right? So your feet are closer to the anchor point, then the more resistance you're going to get. If your feet are further away, now you have less resistance. All right, so what that means is if you need to get better or get stronger, that's how you progress with suspension training. All right, so we start out here just like this. This one is a high back pull. All right, really excellent for the middle upper back, pulling those shoulders back, keeping that good posture. All right, also with keeping the core and all that stuff tight, especially when you're on doing the angle of the workout, because that keeps your torso nice and erect. You got a good trunk, you've got good support. Okay, so first one is high back pulls, and all we want to do is kind of focus and concentrate on keeping our hips up, not sagging back like this, keeping our body straight, alignment, and then pulling up just like that. So that one's pretty easy. Now, that was for the back. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna do a little bit of adjusting on these straps, because there's some play in there, and then each strap also adjusts. So now what we gotta do is take and turn around, and then that way we work on our chest. So again, the angle of your body makes the resistance. All right, so if I wanted it easier, I'd come out here to push, or if I wanted a little bit harder, get more towards parallel to the ground, then I would push just like this. And that's for your chest. So again, the main thing to remember is keeping that core nice and tight. All right, so that way you can keep that good body angle and do the exercise correctly. All right, guys, so we hit the upper body, a couple exercises for the upper body. We hit the chest, and when we did the upper back. So what I want to do right now is I want to show you a couple things you can do for your core. And again, adjust these up just a little bit, because what you want to do is you want to get these high enough so that way your feet are about 4 to 6 inches off the ground. And then what you do is you get hooked in here, put one foot in here, come down to your push-up position, right? Once you do that, then you find your other stirrup right there, get nice and even. And now you can either do knee tucks in the plank position, or you can alternate, okay? Or you can actually do the skiers to the side, just like that right there. Now again, the main important thing to worry about is keeping those hips up and keeping that body alignment straight. So that way you don't put any undue stress on your lower back, and you're actually working those core muscles the entire time. And when I say core, I'm not necessarily just talking about the abs. I'm talking about the lower back. I'm talking about the obliques, because all this section right here, it's all considered your core, okay? All right, guys, the next thing we're gonna cover is how we can use the TRX for mobility and function, okay? So one thing that I like to do a lot of, that's the entail with the core, right? Keep a good, strong core, makes everything else just better. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get that hard lean, and we're gonna grab one handle strap with one hand, okay? And all I want you to do is we're gonna reach, come back, and then pull. Nice, good control. Use that core again, and then reach, and then pull. Okay, and all these things I'm showing you, you want to do at least 3 or 4 sets, probably anywhere from 10 to 15 repetitions. And if you do one side, obviously you have to do the other. And what that's called is unilateral training, right? If you do both at the same time, it's called bilateral training. So we did some with the left. Now, obviously, we got to do some with the right, so that way we're not all cattywampus. All right. So here, back, good reach. Use that core. Come up and pull high. Inhale when you go down. Exhale when you come up. And again, I mentioned exhaling and inhaling whenever you do exercise. It's very, very important to make sure to stave off things like hernia or blacking out or anything like that. You always want to make sure you inhale, right? And then you exhale when you're actually doing the movement, which is called the contraction. All right. So it's almost like a wind up and a pitch. If you know anything about baseball, you got a pitcher, right? He winds up and then he pitches, right? So the wind up for your breathing is when you're preparing to do the rep. Like, for example, we're leaning back, we breathe in, and then we blow out, right? Again, that blowout is what I like to consider like the pitch, all right? So keep those things in mind as you're doing all these exercises. Number of sets, number of reps, those can always vary. But the main thing to remember is the breathing, keeping the core always engaged in proper form, and don't ever rush repetitions. Just keep nice and calm and cool. Make sure you really squeeze and feel the muscle anytime that you're working it, okay? Hey guys, Bulldog with Bulldog Essential Fitness back here again. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a couple minutes and I'm going to show you TRX or suspension training. So as you can see, I'm out here at my house. I've got a hook hooked up to my tree, and I'm going to go through some exercises, kind of explain how they work, what you do, and things like that. So that way you know that you always have more options than just actually going to the gym. All right, so first thing I want you to do is grab here, and then you go ahead and lean back. All right, so now the angle of the lean is going to give you the resistance that you need, right? So your feet are closer to the anchor point, then the more resistance you're going to get. If your feet are further away. Next, let's go into another athletic performance / functionality type of exercise. I do this with a lot of my athletes, especially skiers. A lot of impact, especially with your knees and stuff like that. So, first things I have to mention before I even do any of this stuff: always land on soft knees. All right. I don't know if you've ever landed like stiff, like knee on knee, or bone on bone, where you don't have any flex in your knees. It doesn't feel very good. So anytime you land, you want to make sure that you're kind of landing like you're on springs, okay? So consider your knees like shock absorbers or springs, things like that. If you keep that in mind and anticipate the ground coming to you, and don't let the ground come out of nowhere and surprise you, then you'll always have those knee flexing ready, right? So this was a little side hop, almost like a side shuffle hop. But we're going to use the TRX and hold on to it, okay? You can always put something in the middle here if you want, but you're going to start out with your feet together, right? Get those springs loaded like this, and then you're going to hop over and then land there, okay? And then when you speed up and put it all together, it looks like this. So, a very good functional and cardiovascular move, especially if you're looking at athletic type of training, or just being in fit in general, because we don't have strong legs and we don't have good knees, then obviously we're not going to walk very well. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you're looking for. I'll give you information. I'll show you. I love to teach. I spent 21 years in the Marine Corps, and a lot of it was as a drill instructor. So I know what I'm talking about. Ask me some questions, and I'll be glad to hit you up, all right? Take care. Bulldog out. All right, guys, here we go. Getting ready to get that pump in. It's leg and back day. So hopefully I can catch you good moves, and you can check it out. Bulldog out.